Well, hello, friends. Breaking news. Shocking. Horrifying. I am not, this is not theatrics. Our world is coming apart, friends. Please pay attention and let's get the word out before it's too late. Our northern border may be the biggest problem. It may not be Mexico. Justin Trudeau is now basically just bringing in thousands of Syrians and Muslims into the country for nefarious reasons. I have a source in Canada that is letting me know what's been going on here in the last few weeks. I've done another video last week. This is serious, friends. Please listen up. Justin Trudeau has basically put on permanent leave thousands of Canadian military forces. He has had them leave these military bases, 7 of them, and they've turned them into refugee camps. They're bringing thousands of Muslims from Syria and Africa. There's reports that some of them are coming from Africa. And I don't know why that some of them are from Africa, but they're Muslims. The Canadians have signed some bills lately about how you're not allowed to make fun of the Muslims. It's a crime to even say anything about them. You can't complain. They're bringing them in. They've passed orders that they will spend millions and millions of dollars on mosques, Korans, special prayer rugs, so forth. They're going to, roll out the red carpet, basically turn Canada into a Sharia law state. And I know a lot of Canadians are writing to me and saying, Dave, it's not going to happen. Oh, us Canadians, we're fine. Come on, don't worry. Hey, I know you Canadians are fine. You've been there for a long time. This is your country. This is just like here in America. This is our country. And we don't know what's going on. A lot of people are just kind of closing their eyes. And they're like, it's not going to happen. It's happening. We've got a thing here in the United States called the Democratic Party. They're literally burning our cities down to the ground. They are doing right now, literally planning a coup against our president. If that doesn't work, they're going to probably try to murder him. They are doing everything in their power to bring down the government of the United States of America right now. But this video is about Canada. And Justin Trudeau, who has now just opened up the Canadian government to Muslims and Syrians and basically people who intend to do us harm, who want and who insist upon some kind of Sharia law. They're paying many of these people to go out into the streets. See, Justin Trudeau's not doing this. This little young guy's not. He's just a suit and a tie with a hand stuck up his ass. He's a puppet. And George Soros, who runs Hillary Clinton, who runs the campaign for Obama, who's calling all his shots in the Rothschild banker elite that are orchestrating the world chaos that's going on. Because they're in panic. Because they're afraid of the Brexit. They're afraid of the peoples in these countries that are saying no more. We don't want your one world government. We don't want your control. And they're afraid they're losing control. So they're trying to totally get enough control until their plan can be fulfilled. So they don't want religion. See, they know that our minds are going to be what saves us. Our hearts, our will, our intelligence. If we know the truth, they can't control us. So they want to control us, and they want chaos on the streets. They want martial law. They want Muslims to stop believing in their religion. And a lot of that's perhaps true. A lot of people are involved with religions you and I don't agree with. Most people are involved in religions that you and I don't agree with. In fact, a lot of religion is harmful and hurtful, controlling. And so you say, well, what's the difference then? More power to them. Let's get rid of religion. Well, their goal is not to educate, friends. It is to keep us under control. It is to cause chaos. It is to institute another religion, and that is the fear of the government and the control of these bureaucrats and these elite bankers who will control every step we make like cattle, simply to sell us things and to gain so much power over our hearts, minds, and souls they will destroy the human race because they don't want all these billions of people. There's too many. So they got to get control by confusion, chaos in the streets, martial law, and then they can literally, with the television, I was watching the news, last night and thinking, my God, the news was just absolute propaganda. CNN was a little gray-haired weirdo standing up here, I forget his name, on CNN. Oh my God, everything coming out of his mouth was a lie. He was sitting there trying to connive and figure out how he could get around any truth that came his way. He was manipulating. He was, it was absolutely frightening. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, the commercial came on. And I thought to myself, my God, first we got to sit through an hour-long program of programming and lies and manipulation and propaganda. And then these commercials coming on telling us, oh, take these drugs. And then another commercial comes on and says, hey, did you take these drugs? Well, we've got lawyers suing these people because it's killing everybody. And then another one comes and says, hey, my pillow is the best pillow in all the world. La 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 la, la 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 la. Little jingles going through your head night and day. Oh, my pillow, my pillow, my pillow, my pillow, my pillow. Buy my pillow. Buy my peanut butter. Buy my, my pharmaceutical drugs. Right? It's insanity. We are dying. And so the American people have voted Donald Trump into office to shake up this government, and they're going to lose power if he succeeds. And so now up here, and so what are they going to do? They need America. They don't like this. So they're going to be bringing in, because Donald Trump doesn't want the Syrians, and he's made this ban on certain countries so that we can vet these people, because we don't want these terrorists coming into our country. But they're going to get around that. They're just moving them in by the thousands into Canada. You Canadians, your government's over unless you stop this man. You say, oh, come on, Dave. I'm serious. It's over. You cannot be bringing in thousands of people from other countries that have no concept of Canadian values, of your Constitution. All they care about is instituting Sharia law, their government, their ways, their controls. And of course, that's not the end game. The end game is confusion, fighting in the streets, burning your cities down, just like they're trying to do here. This is total anarchy that they're planning for us. Now, I'm going to read you a little bit of what's actually going on here. This is from a site called The Rebel. They have an exclusive on this. And, this information's out there on LiveLink, and Huffington Post does a little ditty on this. So it's out there. But you're not hearing it from the mainstream media, from CNN or NBC or Fox or ABC or anything else. You may have heard, I don't know if they spoke of it at all. But if Fox was really trying to inform us, friends, they'd be covering this. This is big breaking news. So this is what it says. The Canadian military has been ordered by Justin Trudeau to draft plans to house more than 6,000 Muslim migrants on a long-term basis at military bases. Now, friends, I've got a contact in Canada that's been giving me information on this as it's been going down. And she says there are United Nations cars streaming down the Trans-Canadian Highway. Thousands. They're moving in. The United Nations are setting up bases. They've literally put on permanent leave thousands and thousands of military personnel in Canada. Evacuated the military bases because they're getting ready for thousands from those countries. They're being brought to Canada. Now, obviously, they do not plan on housing these Muslims in these little bases forever. They have another plan. Now, what would the plan be? Well, they've just passed a law that says that Canadians are not allowed to make fun of Muslims. You're not allowed to say anything bad because it's hate speech. And you can be literally imprisoned for years for saying something against a Muslim or speaking against them. They're literally going to be building mosques. Now, why would any country that is supposed to be with modern views, secular, so forth, be bringing all of these Muslims and their Qurans into their country, whose only intent is to bring Sharia law? You know what it is. George Soros is behind this, friends. And he's doing it here in America by bringing them in to certain areas so that they can get control of that particular area and expand. It's only to cause chaos. It's only to disrupt. This is what they did in Iraq and Libya, and they took that country out. Their end goal is to take our country out. Friends, they took Saddam Hussein out not because he was a bad guy. Right? I mean, sure, there's lots of bad guys. Bush was a bad guy, in my opinion. Nixon was a bad guy. Right? Ford was a bad guy, in my opinion. Clinton was a bad guy. Obama was a bad guy. So, do you advocate that we go in and shoot him in the head? Overtake with a coup their government? And cause anarchy and chaos in their nation? I mean, literally, when we went into Iraq, we took down a sovereign state, a sovereign leader, and there has been nothing but chaos there ever since. We did the same thing. We murdered Gaddafi in the street. You saw it on your camera. Friends, you people who say this is not a big deal, they're going to come for you next. You will be shot in the street. You see, when they did it in Libya and it was illegal and unlawful, and the United Nations didn't say, hey, we can't have that. We're only here for law and order, right? No, the United Nations thought that was hunky-dory, and so did the government of the United States, so did Canada, and so did England, and everybody just thought this was great, that we could overthrow governments and kingdoms and shoot the leader right in the head. It was illegal, friends. It was a coup. It was wrong. And now what's going on in Libya and Egypt, in Iraq and Syria? See, they want to do the same thing to the Syrian government now. They're trying to, if they can, if it weren't for Russia holding them back, they'd have shot that guy in the head, drug him out in the street, and there'd be chaos in Syria right now. Well, there is a lot of chaos in Syria because there's a big war going on to do this very thing. They keep the chaos going and going and going and going until they finally win, friends. They will win. And the chaos just starts in one place first. Maybe somewhere in Wisconsin. They got a little town. It's all Muslims, okay? And it spreads to the whole state. Oh, that can't happen. It did. It happened in Libya. It happened in Iraq. And you say, well, that was the Americans, and we can't do that to ourselves. No, that wasn't the Americans. We didn't do that. That was the elite weirdos, the bankers who were running our country, who put these people like Obama and Bush in there as little puppets to do what they want, like Trudeau, like Merkel. They don't know what they're doing. They're bringing all these Syrians in. They're just following orders. And what is their plan? To totally destroy all existing governments, to bring in their control all over one world. Once they have a little bit more control. I mean, come on. Think about what they're doing here in America right now. And they don't have any real control with Muslims here yet. There's not enough Muslims yet, right, to really cause, total anarchy. However, they are simply, even with this small amount of people, they're hiring these people to run in, bust windows, destroy, and burn down cities. It's enough to cause chaos in our country, and they're doing everything in their power to bring down Donald Trump right now. Friends, wake up. Any liberals watching this video, please wake up. Forget trying to say, I'm liberal, because listen, I'm not trying to say I'm a conservative. I don't care for Mr. Bush. I don't care for Mr. Nixon. I don't care for Mr. Ford or Reagan or any of these people. They're all involved in the same shenanigans. Wake up. They run the whole enchilada. And we've got to speak out against them, not each other. Stop speaking out against Donald Trump because he's the one person that they hate with everything, every fiber of their being. Look at it this way, if you're a liberal and you hate Donald Trump because you don't like the way he looks or his orange hair or because he's a rich man. All right, think about this for a second. Do you love the anarchy, the chaos, and the evil that's taking over our country, that took over Iraq, that took over... you say, oh, well, they must have a good reason, Dave. See, I'm assuming that they're taking those countries over because they're trying to bring in a one-world government so we can all be free and women can have rights and we can all have contraceptives and men can turn themselves into women and wear skirts and we can, little boys can be raped by older women, and that's going to be legal now, and you know, like Muslims will come in and bring laws that are so crazy that somehow we won't even know what law is, what's right, what's wrong. I don't know. Muslim says if you're having puberty going on, you're a grown woman, and now you can be married to some old man, right? You like that? He said, no, of course I don't. But we're just bringing that. They're just bringing in this anarchy so they can tear down the old existing order, so they can get rid of religion, and we'll all be free, and we'll be, yay, kumbaya, we'll all be happy. Seriously, you believe this? They will use whatever means necessary, friends. They're deceiving you. Whatever, anything you can find that somehow or another you like about what they're saying, like, say you're a real women's liberation person and you think that women should get, same pay as men and stuff. I agree, fine. Right? Women should be able to have the right to kill their unborn babies. I don't agree with you, but all right, that's what you think is so important. But let me explain something to you. The existing order of things needs to be changed through democracy, one step at a time, not by being coerced by these people through anarchy, because their goals are not what you think. Their goals are not to help you, friends. Their goals are to literally make chaos. You say, oh, I want chaos. Oh, friends, chaos would be great if it was just chaos. If any of you really think that that's what you want. I agree, maybe chaos would be great, as long as if it was just chaos. But the problem is it's not chaos, it's an individual group of people with terrible designs upon our world who are using the chaos to overthrow existing law and order, to put in place something that is going to literally be unimaginable. And if you say, well, I don't know if you're telling the truth, Dave. I don't know if what you're saying is correct. All right, let's say I'm wrong, but what if I'm right? You don't know why they're doing this. You don't know. I mean, all you know is that what's going on in Libya isn't good for a lot of Libyans. You have people dying in the streets. They're hungry, right? They're taking up arms and joining ISIS. Why? Because they're desperate. There's little children with being beheaded and stuff. They say, well, that's all right. It's just a means to an end. Seriously, the people that you're backing would literally murder children and rape women as a means to an end, and you want to follow them? What end is it that you want, friends? You liberals, what is your end? Oh, well, we're black people and we just hate all white people. Anything we can do to tear down these white ass... Because somehow or another you think that because they're telling you they're for the minorities, that somehow you believe them. They're the ones that are causing all of your problems. Do you understand? It was the Democrats that started most of these Jim Crow laws. They were the ones that was in the Ku Klux Klan. They had members of the Ku Klux Klan in government just not too many years ago. Probably still do. But it's propaganda on the television that's making you believe that somehow or another they're for you. Now, I'm not telling you should say, oh, okay, therefore then I'm going to be on the conservative side. They're for me. They're not for you either. You say, well, then what are you saying, Dave? The only person for you is us, the people of America, not this anarchy. We don't want anarchy. Well, I want to change America. Okay, we want to change. I agree with you. But the way we change America is to get these anarchists out of our government that have been there for 50 years. You see, democracy would work if we could get rid of the liars and the cheats and the people trying to take us over. We need to clean up Washington, drain the swamp. You see, Donald Trump may be somebody you don't like, but they don't like him for a reason, because he's trying to drain the swamp. He's trying to take down the power structure so that we can get back to democracy. It doesn't matter whether you like Donald Trump, friends. It doesn't matter. But this Trudeau and Merkel and these other puppets for the elite like Obama, you say, well, he's a black man. He's got to be a good man. No, just because he's black doesn't make him a good man. He's part of this elite puppeteering. He's going out like a little puppet to present this. He's being run by George Soros. Oh, my goodness. I can just keep saying it and saying it, but you need proof. Well, there's plenty of proof if you'll open your eyes and see what's going on. And this is another one of those things that you need to pay attention to, because our government to the north in Canada is literally trying to bring in anarchy through the back door. So I'm going to go ahead and post all of this, put these articles up, give you some links, and it's up to you guys from there on out. Let's get this word out, friends. This is breaking news, what Canada is doing, bringing in these Muslims and these migrants that are perhaps terrorists. I mean, you know that if their game is to tear down all existing... Remember when they brought people into Syria, they were Syrian rebels. They weren't refugees and migrants. Right? These aren't just... And if they are just poor little migrants, well, they've got another ulterior motive, friends. Plan B. These ulterior... these Syrian refugees may not be terrorists, but they are Muslims, and they do want Sharia law, and they are going to stand in the street because they're poor, and these people like George Soros will pay them to stand in the street with signs, day in, day out, causing anarchy and chaos, demanding that, our government start, right, allowing them to beat their wives or whatever. And this, we can't go this route, friends. I mean, look, enough said. I'm David Vos. I hope you guys have a great day. Let's get the word out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Today, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that the Liberal government will pull our Canadian CF-18 fighter jets out of the Allied coalition and end combat against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. We're abandoning our own Canadian values, and we're abandoning our coalition allies. So what are the new plans for our Canadian military? Well, I have them right here in my hands. They're plans that the Liberals ordered the Department of National Defense to draft to house more than 6,000 Muslim migrants on Canadian military bases, turning them into long-term refugee camps. To Trudeau, our soldiers should not be fighting Muslim terrorists over in Syria. He wants Muslims from Syria to be brought here to live on our Canadian Armed Forces bases, which will be turned into Muslim migrant hotels.